This is just a general overview, so you see how the basic gun works. With your slide, you can see the rail, top and bottom. This slides in a cut, matches here on your receiver, and literally suspends the bolt in the center of the receiver, so there's really nothing touching. Now, if you come over here, you'll see the difference between what we had at the end and what we had at the beginning. There's your original bolt, and you'll see there's no marking there. This is where you'd be cutting it. And here you see no shoulder. Here you see silver soldered a shoulder, and it has a slight cam to it.
What's a cam, Michael?
A little angle there.
Okay.
And what that allows for is it causes your bolt head, excuse me, there we go, bolt head to stand off from this front cocking cam ring that supports it. This is a necessity. Some of these actually already have one in there. This was a first model. It's riveted on, not silver soldered. And you're going to have to do a slight touch-up on that to make it fit perfectly. But at least it's already on. It's one part you don't have to manufacture. Now, to remove this portion of the gun, you simply lift, tilt, slide out. It's this lug right here that your safety acts against. As you rotate it in a forward position, you're able to make that out visually?
Not quite. Oh, okay, that's better.
That actually, and that's why I say it's very forceful, it fully cams this thing back and locks it in position. It cannot fire. Put it back together. Simple matter. Just slide this back in. Rotate. This is the portion that your trigger will work against. And come back to our bolt here. You want to see the whole thing disassembled. Basically what you're going to be doing is you have a rod in the front which forcibly holds your recoil lug to the rear. You don't have to do this design, but I mean, whatever your imagination comes up with is fine. But this is the one I came up with, because I killed a lot of birds with one stone doing it. Because what I actually managed to do is get a solid D-block bedding Why the Russians did it this way, I don't know. At this point, we could probably pause. Okay, screws out. Lift straight up. Now you can see, looking in the stock, you can see how that whole thing's inletted. It's very simple, straightforward. Okay. Now, you'll like this. Originally, this thing was set up for a Mauser-style trigger, which never gave us a good trigger pull. So what we have over here, my personal preference, I had a Keplinger single set trigger available. And what I did was, in order to get this thing operational, I took my measurements to see what the actual sear fall would be.
Can you turn so I can see what you're talking about?
Little sear on the inside there. They know what it is. In order to get this thing to work right, then I had to modify. You can actually see the solder line there. Add some material to get this just the right length, and remove a little material off the back of this, shave this down, and mill this flat from what it originally was when it was designed. Where do we got this? There we go. There's our modifications for an improved Mauser trigger. And basically you're just going to be cutting that off because now it's just in the way. You'll be cutting this to the right height for clearance. And the hole here, you're simply going to be taking a piece of metal that's cut for at the normal axis pin and hinging this, and then when you tighten up on your front set screw, everything locks up to the right height and everything, and that's it. Works fine. The only thing is, to get this to fit, you can see where we've opened up the material. You'll be opening up your trigger slot here. You'll be extending it slightly forward, depending on which model trigger you want to use. It can be just about any maker model. And also in the back, you just have to know the clearance that you need. But other than that, it should be adaptable for Remington 700, obviously the Keplinger, Tinneys for Winchesters, or for 98 Mauser, that's a very common one. Your recoil lug, very, very solid. What we did, and you'll notice down here on the underside, this is different from the original. So on the original, they put in a hole for a small pin to guide the lug, but it wasn't very sufficient, and whoever made it made them slightly off-center. So what we do to clear up the off-centerness is you're simply going to be milling a slot straight through, dead center. That cleans that up, and driving a roll pin, which we're going to be providing, that will go to your lug, and there'll be dimensions on your drawings for where that goes. And that locks up very solidly. Very nice. Here's a one-piece base with an actual shoulder in it for recoil. Each receiver is drilled and tapped, but it was really originally drilled and tapped for this base. So if you want these bases, these can be provided as well, or you can put in whatever kind of system you want. Apart from that, you're going to be bringing this in slightly for extra clearance of the bolt handle. You're going to be modifying this angle here. You'll see it's a lighter color. That's because I had a man actually put a metal there, build it up with a metal that's extremely, extremely hard and durable. And what that purchased for us, using this butter knife bolt handle, was better camming power. So originally, not, you know, with many 50s, this one included, the way the Russians designed it, it was simply a radius, round radius cam, and it wasn't very efficient. And of course, with a stuck case, you generally wound up pounding on it with a mallet or a 2x4 or something to get the thing open. Very often it would bend the bolt handle before anything else. With this design, it gives you a rather sharp edge against a better angle cam, much more powerful extraction. I fired proof loads through this thing over 90,000 psi, and just lifting up on the handle is enough to pull everything out. It's very, very powerful.